Hello Sangha, welcome to day 6 of our 31 days. This is the third time I've tried to record this, so I had to take a break. And one of the things that yoga really encourages us to do, and the practice is designed for, is to bring us to a state of balance. And if we feel out of balance, sometimes we feel that we should just push through and fight through. Hello, little dog. And hello, you. And we just fight with ourselves, you know. So I felt like when I was recording this, the last couple of times, I was just out of balance. I didn't feel in a state where I was happy to present the practice. So I'm back at the front door rather than being down by the beach where there's just too many distractions. So hopefully there's something in there for you, like rather than fighting through and pushing yourself beyond what, when you know your body or your mind is saying no, and there's resistance, you know, listening to your body, feeling your mind, noticing when the timing is right for things, Okay, so let's start on all fours. Today we're going to really work on our hips, so it's going to be a lovely practice to do it together. So bring your hands forward towards the front of your mat, your knees towards the center, and drift your weight over your hands, and then back towards your heels. Okay, if that feels too much, go a little slower than that. Again, coming forward and coming back. Okay. Coming forward, center your left knee, reach your right foot back towards the back of your space, and then land your right foot outside your right hand. And just to see if you can lean towards that, and then move away. Okay, so just circling into your right hip. See how that feels for you today. Maybe going forwards and backwards. Okay, push into your front foot, and then heel up with both arms. Take them wide, high, and exhale, let them come back down. Okay. Slide your right leg back. Okay. Take your hips from side to side, a bit like the dog that just passed, maybe wagging its tail. Okay. And then reach your left leg out. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, land your left foot outside your left hand. It may not come as easily forward as mine does. If so, just reach for it and bring it forward. And then bring yourself towards your left leg. And then back towards your left leg. And back, maybe circling your pelvis, circling your hips. Okay, and then push your left foot into the floor and heel up with both arms. Again, reaching back, big open chest, and let both hands come down. Slide your left leg back, take both knees a bit wider. So for the first one, touch your big toes together, sink your hips back towards your heels, let your elbows soften towards the floor, and then your forehead soften towards the floor. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your knees a little bit closer together and let your hips rest onto your heels, okay? So just seeing how that feels in the front of your shins and your knees and your hips, how your body's coping with that today. Okay, let's bring your hands forward. Take your knees a little bit wider, also your feet a little wider, maybe even your feet slightly off the mat, and let your hips go back from here. Now for some people, it's really comfortable to let their hips come back in this position. For some people like me, it's a lot less, your body's just a lot less able to get all the way back. So if you just come back as far as you feel comfortable, don't force, don't fight with your body to get a bit further, but just try and do this kind of frog position, backwards and forwards, okay? Next time you come forward, let your knees come together again. Again, drop your hips onto your heels and walking your hands back, okay? Before we work more into the hips, get in a comfortable kneeling position, take your right hand back and sweep your left hand up and round, okay? So over to the right and then over to the left, okay? And try that again, just sweeping your arm up, opening your chest, open your shoulders, resting into your fingers and back, okay? And then try that on the other side. Your fingers come down, inhale, sweep up and round with your right arm or left arm, whatever arm you haven't done yet. Sweep it up and round. Okay, good. One last time. And then let it come down. Come forward, see how everything's feeling around your shoulders. Bring your hands forward, okay? Bring your right knee to the center and reach back with your left leg. So you've got room to bring your right foot over to the left-hand side and drop your knee in behind the opposite knee. So both feet are open, your shins are open like a V shape, and you can shift your weight back, your hips slide in between your heels, one knee resting on another knee, and probably one hip is going to feel a little more intense than the other. So just be gentle with yourself here. Let your knee come down. Take your back leg, see if you can bring it through towards the front. Open up both hips, both feet, sorry, and let your weight go back again. And maybe the opposite hip feels it this time. Okay. Let it come down, bring that back leg forward. One knee in front of the other. Trying to find the room to bring your back leg through. And maybe sinking a little lower to the floor with your hips. So if you're like looking for a little challenge, maybe keep your hands in the exact same place. Don't move your hands. And then let that knee come down. Bring the back leg through. Okay. Oh, it's taking a little bit more adjustment to get the foot through and the leg through. Okay, you can sit into that again. I don't think I'm going to get any more through because if I bring that knee back down, there's no way I'm getting that back leg through. So if you want to sit into this, you can sit all the way in. I'll show you from the front. Okay, so this is a seated position called Gomukhasana. The other part of it's to reach for your fingers behind your back, between your shoulder blades, but we won't do that part. And see if you can give your feet a little massage from here. Okay. If this is very unavailable to you, don't worry too much. Okay. And then you can switch to the other side. Okay, so one knee rests on top of the other knee and both feet come wide. So Gomukhasana means cow face. So maybe if we really squint our eyes, our knees look like the mouth or the head of a cow and our feet look like the ears of a cow. Okay. You maybe have to use your imagination quite a lot for that. Okay, gently untangle your legs, give them a shake off, tap them up and down, okay? And then bring yourself back to all fours. Slide your left leg out and back and bring your knee towards your elbow. Okay, so hugging it close towards your chest and let it go back, lift your eyes. Let your knee come towards, even above your elbow if you can. Letting your foot go back, lifting your eyes, and then forward again. Okay. This time, bring your left foot forward, outside your left hand. Push both hands away. Take your left foot out a little wider, and see if you can sink your hips down onto your back heel. Okay. See how that feels. And then drop that knee out towards the side, and then back in. Okay. Dropping your knee out and in. Sorry, little bug. There's a little dead bug. So your knee's here, out to the side, and you're dropping it down here. Okay, I'll show you on this side in a second. Bring your hands forward. Bring your left knee underneath your left hip, and shift your weight slightly forwards and back again before we do the other side. Okay, just easing into your hips today. Coming forward, reaching out with your right leg. Okay. Bring your right foot forward, outside your right hand. Okay. And then from there, push into your right foot and let both hands come up. Take that right foot a little bit wider. Okay, I'm going to use this cushion underneath my left knee because I'm going to come off the mat. And see if you can sink your hip onto your back heel. Okay. And let this knee drop out from there. So the knee is dropping out, the hips are opening slightly here as we drop it in and out. Okay. Good. See how that's feeling for you. Don't force it, don't fight it. And then bring your hips back up. Take your right foot forward, bring both hands inside, and then slide your right leg back. Take both knees a bit wider. Touch your big toes together, sink your hips back towards your heels, your elbows towards the floor, and then your forehead towards the floor. And just Maybe let your arms stretch out in front a little bit as you rest onto the ground. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees, hips back on your heels, and see if you can get again to a kneeling position. So we're going to try for a posture called lizard posture. Okay, so we'll lift our hips over our knees without sending our chest forward if we can. So I'll show you that movement. So we're coming straight up, okay, and we're coming straight down. So our body stays perpendicular to the mat. So our hips come up, and then our hips come down. Okay, we're going to make this a little bit trickier. What we're going to do is try and come up in stages and then come back down in stages. So come a third of the way up, okay, 2/3 of the way up, hold it, okay, and then the final third of the way up. Stay here for a moment, trying the way down, a third of the way down, 2/3 of the way down, you're going to feel your legs working, and then finally down, okay. Just strengthening all around the muscles that support our hips. Bring your hands forward. Take your left foot forward, outside your left hand, and slide your right knee a little bit further back. So for this, it's very individual, okay? You're going to have to see how things feel for you. Can you take your left hand forward a little bit and gently bend your elbow so that it comes closer to the floor, okay? Maybe soften the elbow half an inch to the floor and then back up. You can try that on the other side. You can take your right hand forward and soften it. It might be easier this side. Okay. You might be able to get it lower, maybe all the way down. And if for some people it's possible to drop both elbows. What's not so useful, if you have a look, if you're like this and you're rounded through your spine just to force your elbows down, try and keep length through your spine, right? So no matter what you're doing, your shoulders don't drop. They stay in a line with the rest of your spine. And you're not rounding your upper back. And if you can drop your knee a little wider, you can drop your knee a little bit wider from here. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Slide your left leg back. Taking both hips from side to side, your shoulders from side to side. Seeing how that feels for you today. And then we'll reach your right leg out and bring our right foot forward outside our right hand. Okay, so same thing on this side. See how things are going to feel. Walk your right hand a little bit further forward. Can you soften your elbow? So maybe your inner thigh, maybe your hamstrings, maybe your hip. Who knows, right? We're all different. We all have different bodies, therefore we have different experiences when we do a posture. Letting your elbow drop a little closer to the floor. Trying to breathe into it, relax. Let it come back underneath your shoulder. Take your left hand forward. Let your elbow come a little bit closer to the floor. And if you're somebody who's both elbows come down really comfortably, you can use blocks and cushions and stuff underneath your elbows. Okay. Breathing into this, not forcing. Let both elbows come up. Walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Slide your right knee back. Take both knees wide. Take your big toes together, hips back in your heels, elbows towards the floor, forehead towards the floor. And take slow, easy breaths here. Just letting go, letting go, letting go. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your knees together and let your hips rest on your heels. Okay. Good. So just notice how your body is responding to that today. Bring the soles of your feet together. So switch your position to Baddha Konasana, this posture is called, and let your knees drift up and down. Okay. Noticing how that feels for your hips. So the kids call this butterfly, because their knees are fluttering up and down. If you want to, you can gently lean to one side and lean to the other side. And maybe even just press down both knees a little bit. Bring the soles of your feet closer together. And then take your middle and index finger around your big toes. See if you can bring your weight back onto your hips and send your right foot out a little bit wider. Bring it back in, send your left foot out a little bit wider. Bring it back in. Can we do both feet? Okay. Maybe look up as we do both legs. And bring them back in. Okay, let your legs cross. And shuffle your hips back a wee bit. Okay. And then lean forward into your hips, letting your elbows come down, your palms face up. And then pushing into floor away. Okay. This time bring your knees together. Take your hands underneath your thighs. Bring your weight back, and this time bring your feet a little bit higher. Okay, I'm going to show you this from the side. Just make it a little bit easier. Bring your feet a little bit higher, maybe a little bit higher still. Okay, and then down. Okay. This time take your feet the same level as the floor. Take your hands away and straighten your legs into Navasana boat posture. Okay. Good. And then hug them in towards you. Good. Bring yourself to a seated position. Take your cushions, your blocks, and place them underneath your hips. Okay, so hopefully your hips feel a bit more able to be in a cross-legged position, and see if you can rest into this position. So find somewhere comfortable for your hands. Maybe letting your hands rest on your lap, on your thighs, maybe one on your belly, one on your heart. Again, remember you can do this lying on your back if that's a more comfortable position for you. And just let everything settle, right? Notice if there's resistance in your face and your shoulders, and let that resistance soften. Let your belly soften. Let your forehead soften. But at the same time, keep this long spine supported. Keeping a softness to your body, a gentle flow to your breath, slowly in, slowly out. And notice where your mind is at the moment, okay? As soon as we be still, our mind likes to jump in and give us something to think about. Even if it's something positive, even let the positive thing just go and just be in this moment. Just the observer of your breath, the observer of your body. And almost keep like a soft smile on your face as you practice. Any seated practice or your Shavasana practice. And when you're ready, you can gently move your fingers. If you have more time, stay relaxed, resting on the floor. Move your toes. Take a stretch in any way that feels good for you, side to side. Shake off your arms, shake off your shoulders. Give a little shimmy. Okay. Yeah. I'm super glad that you have chosen to do these practices each day. I know that finding time to practice each day is a bit of a chore sometimes, and there's a million other things that you might be doing, but the beauty of our practice is that the benefit's not just in the practice itself. The benefit is in how it affects the rest of our life, how it affects our relationships with other people, our relationship with ourselves, how it deepens our relationship with ourselves. So thank you for practicing today, connecting to your body, connecting to your breath. Let your fingertips touch, the base of your palms touch. Om Shanti.